So this morning, while I was just out back, meandering through the woods and feeling into our space, something came up around taking inventory. But it was something that came through very strongly, to do it in whatever way supports you. And you might dance your way into inventory. You might meditate your way into inventory. You might walk a dog into inventory. You might journal inventory. You might connect with another sister this afternoon and talk through inventory. But what was coming through so strongly was feeling into, where do I feel connected? What environments do I feel connected in? When do I feel connected to high self spirit, to soul? When do I hear my intuition talking? When do I feel like I'm living in accordance or in alignment with my true self? So what are the spaces? What are the environments? Who are the people that when I'm around them or when I'm in those spaces, they actually support soul living. They actually support my deep inner truth. They call me into deeper alignment. So does that piece make sense? When I'm taking inventory, I'm feeling into the environments, I'm feeling into the practices, what meditation practices, what environments. When I'm outdoors in nature, I feel it. When I'm at work, we'll go into the not feeling it parts in a minute, but really just focusing on what are the supportive environments, what are the supportive spaces, what is the supportive work or practices or meditations or anything along those lines. Who are the supportive people? What are the supportive circles that I may be involved in? The supportive communities, the supportive friends, the supportive family members, and just feeling into supports. What amplifies my soul alignment? What calls me into soul alignment? What reminds me of my higher self? Who reminds me of my higher self? So what are supportive environments? Maybe it's even as mundane as playing with my dog, or maybe as mundane as eating the right foods. I know that when my physical body gets out of whack, my spiritual body gets out of whack. So feeling into even down to really mundane, really physical things. And then that's kind of one category, the supports. And then kind of the next would be, where is it challenging? Where is it harder? Where does it maybe feel not supportive? Where do I get pulled out of alignment? Who? What groups of people? What family dynamics or members? What environments? Where do I have to work harder? So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you get pulled out of alignment, but I have to work harder. So for me, I'm so incredibly empathic and I'm so sensitive that if I'm in a city, I have to work harder. That's just how I'm wired. There is no right or wrong or good or bad about this. This is us starting know thyself. This is just how we're wired. And maybe instead of having to fight it all of the time, we start to learn to work with it. Maybe instead of judging it, we start to accept it. And we start to build a framework around who we innately are. Not that it can't change, or not that sometimes it's not building up the stamina, but it's at least just this starting point of taking inventory. It's just taking inventory. We don't need to know what decisions we need to make based on that or where to move from there. It's just us being able to be really radically honest about what it is that supports us living from this place and what it is that where, who, what, how, it's more challenging. I have to work harder. I know that when I was in corporate, I was under fluorescent lights working on the 30th story of a building. I had to work harder than I do when I'm in the mountains of Colorado in the retreat center. I had to work harder. And so just because we have to work harder doesn't mean that it's not right, but it's us at least knowing. It's just us knowing. Where do we have to work harder? Who do we, when we're around certain people, I know that there are certain people that I know I have to be fully rested. I have to have meditated. I have to just be coming 100% switched on, ready to go, because I'm walking into some challenging people dynamics. And if I'm going to hold soul truth, I'm going to have to work. And I'm not saying that that's not the perfect place for me to be. Oftentimes it is. But it's to just know. It's to simply know these things about ourselves.